it's like languages, I guess, too. You just submerge
Sure.
yourself in another country. I was in Mexico recently, and I was like, damn, I could, because my wife's from Oaxaca. Her first language is Spanish, and like, so I've been with her for like 7 years, so I've learned a little bit. So I was trying to speak it there, but I was like, damn, I feel like I could learn it if I was here for like 3 months. If I'd just be speaking it.
Yeah. There's some method that I was reading about that is some like tried and true method for learning language that allows you to be functional in a language in 30 days. See if you can find out what the fuck that is. It
Damn.
might have just been a marketing scheme.
Yeah.
I might have got sucked into
These
it.
fucking stars are tripping
Yeah.
me out. I keep seeing them. Like,
Learn a new language in 30 days. Yeah, Pimsleur
It
method.
is an ad, but that's what pops
It is
up.
an ad. Focuses on conversational skills. Start actually speaking today. I heard that Rosetta is good too, right? The
Rosetta
Rosetta
Stone.
app.
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. Elena, she's 2. My daughter, she's learning English and Spanish at the same time. So she's starting to say 2 or 3 word sentences, but some will be in English and Spanish, and it's just a trip to see how their little brains work.
It's supposed to be really good for child's development to be learning languages simultaneously.
Yeah, Danny's mom's our full-time nanny, and she only speaks Spanish. So and she's
Oh.
with her Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then sometimes on the weekends. So she's learning like she's like Spanish could be her primary language at first.
Oh.
So yeah, no, it's fucking interesting.
It's one of the more important things, supposedly, to like keep your mind from atrophying is like learning language. Like learning language is like a really difficult thing. So they say that like there's a few things that you can do to kind of stave off mental deterioration. One of them is like crossword puzzles. Like doing things where your mind, it just makes sense. Like if you
Yeah.
make your mind work. And what makes your mind work more than learning a language?
Yeah, seriously. I remember when I was what was it, Duolingo or some shit, one of the apps. I would go every day. Well, maybe not every day, but pretty much every day. I'd go to the coffee shop and before practice, and I'd read. I would go there for an hour. I'd go and like read for half an hour, and then Duolingo for half an hour for a long time. And I got decent at it, but it's just like you lose what you don't use or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
that is, and that's so true. Because that was like a while back when I first moved to Arizona and first met Danny. I was like, I'm going to be able to talk to her in her language, and then did it for a while and was like, fuck that.
I got it a lot when I was in high school. I had Spanish, and I got to a point where I could almost have conversations in class. You know, I could have
Yeah.
like crude conversations in class. And I remember thinking at the time, oh, this is great. Because now I always know how to talk like a little bit of Spanish. That shit was gone in like
Yeah.
6 months. 6 months after I graduated high school, it was gone.
Yeah, I was
You want some coffee?
fuck it, I might take some coffee. Yeah, I was surprised. I was doing pretty good. I think Tim went with me to Mexico. He was impressed. I was trying to have conversations, and
Nice.
the thing is like when I was there, it wasn't like as embarrassing. But like when I tried to do it with Danny or her mom or like,
Yeah.
I just feel like a fucking idiot. I'm
Imagine
like,
how foreigners feel talking to us, you know? That's why it's so rude to mock them.
Yeah, Danny moved to America when she was 9. Went to just a normal school, and no one spoke English. And she only spoke Spanish, and she was like, just submerged into it, and just slowly had to learn. Like she went to English class, obviously, but it's hard when. She said there was one girl in her class that spoke like broken Spanish.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to like fit in and learn a new culture while you're learning the language. You have totally different culture, totally different environment, and totally different language.
Yeah, no, it's impressive. I mean, it's like you don't really have a choice when you're 9 and you just go to school. It's like you don't have a choice but learn.
Right? Most 9-year-old kids freak out if they have to move to a new neighborhood.
Yeah.
They got to make new friends. It's like traumatic. You know?
You did a lot of moving, yeah? Like,
Well, when I moved my kids here, there was like, I'm like, this is like kind of at the wire where I can't move them anymore. And
What
it'd be
age
a
were they?
problem. 10 and 12.
okay, right
I was
before.
like, this is like right when, and then we still had friends that visited. We have friends that also live in Texas. So like, this might work now, but if you move them when they're like 15
Not
and
good.
16, not good, not good.
Yeah, I was trying to get my sister to move down when I think she was somewhat like freshman or sophomore, and moved down to Phoenix from Montana, and my mom was like, no, I didn't get it. I'm like, why? But thinking about it now, I'm like, yeah, that would have probably been. It's hard
It's
for
just,
a girl.
it's rough. It's rough for everybody. And especially girls, they go in these it's like a natural bullying instinct
Yeah.
that like teenage girls have.
They're fucking mean to
They
each
get
other.
fucking
dude.
mean to each other, dude. I get privy to some text message exchanges that some of these kids have. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And parents get confronted by their kid being like horrible and saying horrible shit to people. Kids telling kids to kill themselves, like wild shit.
Yeah.
Not no kids I know did. Let me just state that.
Just in
But I do
general?
know that there was like a thing where a girl was arrested and she wound up being held guilty. She was a teenager. She broke up with this guy and she convinced him to kill himself.
Oh,
He
yeah,
killed
yeah.
himself. Remember that?
That was I think that was on Netflix or some shit. I watched
Yeah,
that.
what? I mean, there's something about like teenage people that are just like learning how to be mean and learning how to like turn on and being scared of people doing it to them.
Yeah.
And so they pile on each other like, woo.
And you're not learning anything in school that's in, like communication skills or like going
No.
inside yourself and feelings, and like you're not learning any of that. So it's just
Imagine learning how to talk while you're texting. Imagine like, learning how to communicate
Yeah.
with people and you're doing more texting than you are actually communicating.
that's how, I mean, I think in 7th grade I got my first flip phone, 7th, 8th grade. So I could talk to chicks texting. I could text them, hey, like you look good. I could say
So
anything.
arduous, though.
But then in school, like when I'd see them, I'd be like, I couldn't have a conversation. I was so scared. But texting, I could say so what, I mean, whatever.
Well, it's like we were talking about stand-up. It's just a thing you get used to doing. You know, like you're used to fighting. Like for you, I'm sure you get heightened senses and you get fired up and your adrenaline kicks in. But this is a normal thing for you. There's people that just would completely freeze and not even be able to walk into the cage.
Oh, yeah.
They would have a panic attack. But you've done it so many times. I think that's the kind of the case with all things that are difficult to do.
Yeah, I that too, and it's like a skill you have to learn because like Donald Cerrone, for example, did it how many times? And like I was in the backstage of his last fight. I fought I don't remember who I fought, but I was in the back room. He was walking out before me. He was warming up, and he just looked not scared. I don't know if they were nervous, like had this anxious energy, and he's done it more than anyone. But it's just like,
I think if you want to fight well, that never really goes away. I think you have confidence, and I think you control it, and I think the best guys learn how to handle it. But, you know, when you're looking at like Alex Pereira looking at Stylebender in the face-off, like there has to be some crazy heightened sense of tension and awareness in the moment, and it's a crazy big fight. I don't think you get away with that without not having that.
Yeah.
I think everybody has it. It's just some people handle it better. And I think the guys that don't have it, I think sometimes they get in trouble. Like some fights I've seen guys where they're just a little too calm, a little too confident, and then they get lit up.
Yeah.
It's almost